Africa, so that she may waken from her sleep. Fill her horn of plenty, guide her feet. Hear us, faithful ones. Hear us, faithful ones. Uje roho, uje, uje, uje roho, uje, uje, uje roho, utu, utatarazi, tina, lusafuwayo, tina, bless Africa. Together, use your body as an instrument. Clap, 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 clap. Funga la fia, ashe, ashe. 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 Put your hands up. Funga la fia, ashe, ashe. Reach down. Funga la fia, ashe, ashe. Reach up. Funga la fia, ashe. Reach down. Funga la fia. Reach them out to your side. We're here to greet you. Ashe, ashe. We're here to greet you. Ashe, ashe. We're here to greet you. You got it. We're here to greet you. Funga again. Funga la fia, ashe, ashe. 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 Woo! That's the way to do it, village. I heard some harmony and everything up in here. You know? It takes a village. And one reason why we're here is that we're celebrating the fact that not only do we know that, but we are learning which villages we come from. Let's give it up for African Ancestry for the 20th anniversary of Gina Page. My name is Nana Malaya, one who speaks in parables, sometimes called the dancing diplomat. I have on Cameroonian clothing today because DNA of history. I found out, now my father's from Ghana, I already knew that. My mother's family were traced to Nigeria. But I found out I also had family in the Cameroon. So anybody else here from the Cameroon? Babamelike, Tikar? Yes, 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 yes. And you know what? I've been installed as a queen mother. My other name is Mama Etunde. Queen Mother, Mama Etunde. So I greet you in that name as well today. So I say Akwaba. Will you say Akwaba? I say Alafia. Say Alafia. Say yo. Say yo. All languages that we speak and many, many more. 2,000 I understand on the continent of Africa. So as we're here to recognize our ancestors, this beautiful altar set up by Adasi. My dear goddaughter, Mayasa, is here to help as we do libation, which is the original form of prayer. You can do it at your house, you can do it in the park, you can do it at the river, you can do it at the ocean, you can do it anytime you think about it. And whatever words you use, recognize those who came before you. And I mention that because oftentimes people of African descent have been told not to revere our ancestors. We're in Washington, D.C. On every corner, they got a reverence for an ancestor. So I'm like, okay, when they take down the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, like, you let me know. And I had an elder teacher that said, don't do as they say, watch what they do. And so our ancestors are to be remembered. We carry them in our bodies. And African Ancestry, blessed, has a way of being able to now show that to us. And I will remind you that just like with Alex Haley, it came in stories. Listen to the stories of your family. Listen to your dreams. Listen to your intuition, because you'll see something and say, that looks familiar, that feels familiar. Probably because you're from there. And you might feel that way on the continent of Africa, but many other places. I had a similar feeling when I was in Thailand. I cried for 3 hours, and I was like, no. I didn't expect to feel that there. So African people were everywhere, and we were everywhere on the planet. So before I do libation, I just want to remind us, we were the first to write, the first to read. Humanity began with the African seed for 20,000 years or more. We were here alone, and then others were born. So sharpen your eyes and tune your ears so you know what you see, understand what you hear, because minute by minute, hour by hour, if you lose your history, you lose your power. Some of you know about Pythagoras, Galileo, Aristotle too. They got credit for what they learned from you. So sharpen your eyes and tune your ears so you know what you see, understand what you hear. Again, because minute by minute, hour by hour, if you lose your history, you lose your power. And they're certainly trying to help us lose our power right in through here. So wherever you live and wherever you are, make sure, I pray, that you take it as one of your responsibilities to teach your own, your children, your grandchildren, your godchildren, your great-grandchildren. The kids on the corner with you and listen, you know? Even the brothers on the corner, because if you talk to them respectfully, most of the time, they'll listen. So let's do that, because we know it's up to us to save ourselves. So as we do libation, libation is an original form of prayer. If you believe we're all children of God, then God is the ultimate ancestor. And so we're going to take water. And women always seem to be the water bearers in most traditions around the world. So she's holding water. And water is the conduit from heaven to earth. As it comes down in precipitation, it nurtures the ground for the food that we need. But it also nurtures our bodies, cleanses our clothes, and maybe cleanses our souls. It's a conduit for electricity and so many things we need water for. So we want to remember that. So I'm going to ask her, we're going to raise it up in this direction. Let's raise it up in that direction. Let's turn around, let's raise it in this direction. I'm going to raise it in this direction. And we're remembering all the directions because also, as people, here way before. Remember, we say this libation, it's a prayer of empowerment. All prayers are prayers of empowerment. So I want you to feel empowered. So I am going to ask you to name people in your family, historical departed, as well as any personal departed. So when I say I go, will you say I may? I go, I go, I go. Once could be an accident. Or some more. Twice could be a coincidence. 3 times is a number of consciousness. So it's a number of definitely something you deliberately want to do. And 3 is a very important number in most traditions around the world. So we tap this 4 times. We're taking the water. We're going to pour it in this vessel. You can stand up. As I take this water, I am Nana Malaya, Nana Enum, one who speaks in Mento Etunde. I'm the daughter of Mary Wilhelmina Brown from New York, and also from the Wanapa people here in this area. Also, my father, Ebenezer Ray, whose family's from Barbados. Any Bajans in here today? And Ghana, West Africa. As well as I know I have family in many other places in the Caribbean, including Cuba. You might too, Tanzania, South Africa. So for all of our ancestors, we pray. I want you to call out your last name. So call them out. I'm calling out mine are Browns and Williams. Just keep calling them out. Call them out. Your mother's side, your father's side. Anybody playing, call their last names out. All right, you can keep calling them. Also, if you think about any personal departed in your family, whether it's your parents, grandparents, or great aunts and uncles, I'm going to mention my Aunt Sarah. She came to me in a dream and told me I should mention her when I do libation. She did. Also, any other personal family, great-grandmothers and fathers that you know. Okay, call them out. Right. Molly, she lived to be 109. All right, so other than the personal departed, let's call out those historical departed. Today, unfortunately, is the day that Malcolm X made his ascension, not by his choice, but someone who also assassinated him, so to Malcolm X. Marcus Garvey, John Henry Clark, Anna B. Wells, Harriet Tubman, Ida Van Sertimon, Martin Luther King. Just keep calling them out. If I'm not pouring, keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. Johnny Cochran. Keep calling, keep calling. Thurgood Marshall. Patrice Lumumba, I heard that one. Keep calling. Y'all can say them loud so everybody can hear you. We need to remember these folks. We come from some great traditions. I'm going to talk about the one-eyed warrior. It's a female warrior who, on the continent of Africa, they said she stopped Caesar from coming any further onto the continent of Africa and Nubia at that time. You can look her up. It's under one-eyed female warrior. It's there. For all the women out west, when I was little, I knew about, what is it, Annie, get your gun? You know what I'm saying? There were a lot of black women. And one of them, I think they called her Black Mary. She was really good with weapons here in the United States. So I want to put this up for the deacons of defense who were in the United States. They were deacons and they took up arms because shorted down south and other places, we were not troubled. So as we remember those, let's remember any other, the Middle Passage. Let's remember the children who have passed. Call out some of the names. I said speak their names. Sandra Bland, call them out. Tamir Rice, call them out, call them out. Call them out, call them out, call them out. So we want to remember all those on soldiers as well. We want to remember all those fallen soldiers as well. And so let's remember all of us are soldiers in our own way. Whether you choose your weapon as a pen, whether you use the weapon as arts, whether you use the weapon with materials you're in. I do want to remind you, though, if you got here with GPS, that took an African woman to help get you here, Dr. Gladys West. Dr. Gladys West created the GPS. If you have a home security system, that's a sister. She created that in 1960s, otherwise your house, including the ring, wouldn't be working. I know everybody got a cell phone, even the younger children that are getting a cell phone created by a person of African descent. So just about everything, and most of all of you know about Hidden Figures. Please show those films to your families when you're getting together. Even Roots, which is an old film, it's a good one to remind folks about the history. And if Ruby Bridges can not only go through her challenges and experience that at 5 years old, and they can have 5-year-old little white kids standing while someone's being lynched, clearly we don't need to worry about anybody's feelings being hurt. So let's just remember that as we share our history, but remember to share the triumphs. So let's think of all the next 7 generations to come and all the positive things that we're all going to produce, all the things that we're going to do, all the things we're going to add, all the wondrous things that Gina's going to provide, all the history that everybody has helped. Just help me to know that history. She did a reveal with Jonathan Metlock, who was mayor of District Heights at the time. And where everybody has gender reveals, he had an ancestry reveal. And I was there as one of the African dancers. They had food, and she revealed to him his ancestry at that point. And this is a brother who's been fighting for the community in all ways. And he was related to Sin Q. That's correct, ma'am? Amistad, the brother that was led revolt of Amistad. And we all said, oh yeah. We could understand it.
I think we have some Mende people in the house.
Mende people! So be proud of who you are, share who you are. And I met some little children from the continent that weren't proud of who they were because of what they've been around. So let's make sure we lift up everybody. Let's lift up so all the next seven generations to come can benefit from the positive work we do. Adasi has put together this wonderful tribute to our ancestors. You can see the fruits provided as an offering. You can see the Sankofa bird, which means go back and fetch it. You can see the Ashanti symbol, which is one for fertility. Of course, the drum. Everybody has a drum right here. Candles, of course, for light and progress to your spirit. And they say God is love and light. You ever heard anyone speak about that had a near-death experience? They talk about the light and the love that they saw. So let's take that light and that love, and let's shed it, and let's put a blessing on our ancestors, blessings upon ourselves, and share the blessings with Gina and all those that work with her and the fabulous work that she does that brought us all together. Happy anniversary!
With the mic. Welcome, everybody. I think almost everybody in here knows me, but you don't necessarily know the man behind the science of African ancestry. So I'd like to introduce my business partner and co-founder, Dr. Rick Kittles.
20 years. 20 years. 20 years. So my name is Rick Kittles. I remember about 21 years ago, like it was yesterday, being frustrated, working on a project, trying to understand the ancestry of African Americans. And I remember feeling like, what's the next stage? What's the next stage of this? And then I met a young lady named Gina Page, who actually changed my life. Changed my life. And together, I think we've changed thousands, millions of lives. "20 years. That's why we're here today. Each and every one of you is part of a family of folk who share genetic connections with the Fulani, the Bamileke, the Fula, the Mende, Temne, Hausa, Yoruba, Mandinka, Balanta.
Which one?
Igbo. I remember our first Igbo test result. I was like, yes, we got this. We got this. Masa and the Masa people. The Masa and the Hyde. Right. But listen, we're here today to celebrate 20 years. So I'm so excited. But I do want to come back to this young lady standing next to me for a second. I gotta give her due. So in many traditions all over the world, not just in West Africa, but throughout the world, many folks recognize that in your lifetime, there's like one or two people who, when they come into your life, they're gonna have significant impact. And I don't know what they call that in West Africa, but I met that person in D.C. 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And Gina and I said, let's do this. Let's connect black folk to Africa. Let's connect with them so that they can make their connections, their family history connections, but also bring black folk closer to Africa. That was the big part of why we do this. We wanted to make sure that the young people understood their ancestry, their heritage, their traditions. And so I'm so proud of each and every one of you who volunteered or who coughed up the loot to do the test, who traveled with us, who became family members, who, after you got your test results, did something with it. Because that's what we are. We're very active and engaged people. We don't just sit and just let something just sit in the corner, especially when it impacts us and our family. So I'm just so excited and beyond belief in a sense. I'm just like, sometimes I think about 20 years. 20 years. I'm still asking for permission to speak. You know what I'm saying? 20 years. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all. And without any further ado, bring to the mic the president of African Ancestry, Gina Page.
I'm going to do like Mimi. Shout out to Hand Me My Purse podcast. When you feel like you're about to cry, then you just start dancing and get the tears out your system. Thanks, everybody, for being here. It is absolutely our honor to do this work. We have so many, almost everybody in here has impacted us in some way. So I'm going to try and do this. It's quivering, but we're going to get there. My team knows what's up. I'm always crying. So first, my parents. I don't know where they are. Here's my father. My mother's over there. She doesn't want you to see her. But they're the original investors. They let me live in their basement without paying rent for 5 years. And we hear about other people who have family that can support them, to help them, friends and family, to get their businesses off the ground. And we don't always have that, but African Ancestry had that. Dr. Dunstan, Dr. Georgia Dunstan, I don't think any of this, she's a professor emeritus at Howard University. She was the founder of the National Genome Center at Howard, which is where Rick got this start anyway.
That's right.
So we thank you, Dr. Dunstan. Without you, there would be no African Ancestry. She's up there on the balcony. We also have so many people who, everybody who's bought a test. Can you raise your hand? This is how you support, this is what supporting Black business looks like. We have our bankers from Chase Bank in the building, and I want you all to see, bankers, that this is what supporting Black business looks like. And I also, where is Chase? Alexis, and there they are, Alexis and Darla and crew. I think we must have, whatever your feelings are about major banks, and we all have our money spread across the different banks, but Chase with Alexis, we have followed Alexis from Bank of America to PNC to Chase. She is down for African Ancestry. Yeah, it's all about relationships. There's so many people in here. So one of our company values is to support Black businesses. So almost every time we can engage a Black business, we do. Black-owned business. So our design firm, Shared Vision, where's Doug? Since 2007, Doug, Social Scoop, does our social media, T and Christine. Our 20th anniversary logo that you all probably have seen was designed by JBK Design Group, Julian Kaganda. We've partnered with Nubian Human. They're there doing the merchandising. Where's Anika? Shout out to Anika. We've partnered, our business besties are in the building as usual, Derek and Ramunda Young from mahoganybooks.com. I hope you all are taking notes of all these black businesses I'm mentioning. We have JLM HR Consulting, Jody Friend. We've worked with Jody. She's helped us go from like 4 employees to now we have like 10 employees. Gagne and Associates, Bridget Gagne's team does our financial, they're our virtual CFOs basically and accountants with Bridget and my Aunt Barbara who's not here tonight. We now offer benefits, retirement benefits to our employees. Travelers.
Folks who helped us travel.
Oh, yeah, that's Diallo. Shout out to Diallo Sumbri. He's in Ghana. Hopefully he's watching the live stream. But the Adinkra group has been an instrumental part of our growth over the past 4 years. I'm just looking out at the crowd. I'm trying to see all the faces, you know, and then Kia, Imagine Photography, DC's photographer, has documented almost our entire 20 years. Ralston Smith, where's Ralston? Ralston Smith right here. Ralston has been with us on our We Are Africa road tour. Ralston said, okay, he flew with us down to New Orleans. We rented a minivan and drove from New Orleans to New England. And in 19 days, 14 cities in 19 days. And Ralston made it look so good. You all can see it on YouTube. It looks fabulous. And Kia was there too. The Park Triangle Productions that's helping us tonight, Jamal Woods and Erica Woods. It's just the event planner, Sharon Jarrett, the caterer, hey Jasmine. So many people, whenever we can, we support black business because that's very important. And so, you know, it's no small feat that this black business has lasted 20 years. I tried to get the stats before we got here, but most small businesses, and you can keep me honest, Darla, most small businesses don't last 5 years. And then you add the layer of fabulousness that makes us black, we're not lasting 5 years either. But when you work together, when you do business with a purpose, you sustain. And everybody that I've mentioned has been in business more than 5 years. So this is how we've done it, with you, with them, with everybody. So thank you so much for being here. There's so many other things we're supposed to say, but yeah, you know. So in 2010, we took our first trip to the country of Cameroon. And when everybody descended upon Dulles airports, they were African Americans who had taken our test. They were African Ancestry family members. By the time we landed in Cameroon, they got off the plane calling themselves Cameroonian Americans. And then after being in the country for like 3 days, they became Camericans. So when we talk about this is identity work, our purpose is to help black people transform the way we view ourselves and the way we view Africa. That's what it's about. Now the Cameroonians call them Camericans. I'm not kidding. And the group that made that possible is called the Arc Jammers. And so I would like the chairman of the Arc Jammers, Tomas Ava, to join me to say a few words on behalf of the Arc Jammers. Give it up for Tomas Ava. Where's Brody? Brody, where are you? Oh, okay, Dan, can you give those things to Brody? Thank you.
Hey. Good evening. My name is Thomas Ava. I'm here representing Arc Jammers. In 2009, I can't believe it's been that long. 2009, we had an event at the World Bank here in DC. And during that event, a gentleman came to us and said he was our brother-in-law. We said, brother-in-law? Then he further explained that his wife has just found out through DNA tracing that her origins were in Cameroon. And that's how he brought us to Gina Page. That's how we got to meet
African ancestry. We didn't know what DNA was. We didn't know how it worked. We had no idea. So the first meeting with Gina, we understood that there were plenty, maybe hundreds of thousands of Cameroonians, Camerican, as she just said, as we call them back home, who were here. So we decided to talk to the ambassador. So we have plenty of Cameroonians who are here. What are you doing? He said, well, May 20th is a National Independence Day in Cameroon. He said, May 20th is around the corner. Invite all of them. So we only had like maybe 15 names, but they show up about 50 of them, I would say. And we were so happy, but we had a blast. But anyways, the rest was history. As Gina just told you, we took a first trip in 2010. So it's been about 12 years of partnership with African Ancestry. So I just want to express our sincerest congratulations and best wishes. You have just not changed the lives of millions here. You have actually changed the lives of millions at home. I would say hundreds of millions. Because intentionally, some people drove a wedge between Africans and African diaspora, intentionally. We were taught two different stories about the same tragedy. You were taught the right version because of the horror you went through. You actually sought the truth. Us who stayed back there, for a reason what I could not understand, we didn't seek to understand anything. So centuries passed, we came to accept the narrative that kind of absolved us from our guilt in that tragedy. So that caused now the situation that we are in. You, on this side of the pond, think we don't care, but it's just we don't know anything. So what African Ancestry has started, not only through the rigorous science that the job is, but by pinpointing what tribe you come from. By the way, I'm Ewondo. I'm sure there is an Ewondo somewhere here. It has changed even the history of Africa to some degree. I'm going to give you just a quick example. In Cameroon, there's a tribe called Tikar. I know there's a lot of Tikar here. We did not know, and I'm from Cameroon, I grew up in Cameroon, we did not know how vast and important was that tribe until we start getting the result of the DNA from Tikar. We realized that the Tikar tribe was a lot more important than we knew. So now, what African Ancestry has done, we're going to have to educate ourselves about ourselves. So once again, I'm just going to say thank you for what you do. Our Jammers will always be with you. You have been a partner with us for now 12 years. We're still here. We're looking forward for the next 50 years. And thank you very much, Gina.
Thank you. You want to say something or you want me to keep going?
I'll keep going.
Okay, so thank you, Tomas. And shout out to Aveline Ava if she's watching the live stream, because she really is the heart of ARC Jammers. So you all, how many people in here have experienced an African Ancestry reveal? A lot of you. And so this is probably, I always say this is the most fun part of my job, because, you know, you get to put a face with a spreadsheet line item, you know, in the database, whatever.
Something I don't get to do often.
Right. Rick never gets to do it. He's shy. He doesn't want to come out.
I'm in the lab.
Oh, okay. He's in the lab. Okay. My bad. He's in the lab. So tonight, we decided that we wanted to do another very special ancestry reveal. And we talked to, so speaking of supporting Black businesses, that's also one of my personal values. And so I have a rack of Love DC t-shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants from Honesties. And I got to ask you if I'm saying that right. Okay. And so Dre Taylor did, and I just, you know, I don't know if anybody in here, if I had to come to your house and bring you a kit or come to your house and bring you some results, I don't know. But he offered to come to my house to drop something off. And so he's like, I'm going to do that test one of these days. It's on my list. And so I was like, it's our 20th anniversary. We need a new shirt. So I called him up and I was like, would you collaborate with us on a shirt? Who has on a shirt? Can somebody? Oh, look, my father, of course. So everybody who's wearing one of our love T-shirts, which are for sale over there in the pop-up shop, this was because it's our first collab, African Ancestry and Honesty. So we have Dre Taylor's results. So Dre, would you join us up here? Come over here in between me and Dr. Kittles. So Dre, what made you decide to take the African Ancestry test, besides me saying, hey, you want to take a test?
The journey. And so for honesty, it means honestly the onus is on us. So this is a journey of self-discovery. My mom has been pushing it just from other sources before, but to get the African Ancestry will just bring it home in an expression of love. So I could go tell, I've told everyone on my mom's side, after tonight we'll know who we are. And that's the biggest thing. And I could tell them who we are as a people. And it just gives us more energy, love, and dedication to rebuild who we are. So that's it.
You're a Howard grad, right? I am a Howard. This is out of the mouths of a Howard grad, y'all. Out of the mouth. So Dre took the matriclan test. For those of you who don't know, the matriclan test traces your maternal lineage, mother to mother to mother to mother, all the way back, going back up to 2,000 years. And when Dre swabbed his cheeks, he then sent his swabs to our lab. The lab sequenced his DNA, unlocked the code, if you will, and then Dr. Kittles and his team.
You go through the process. You know the process.
See, you gonna let me say something?
No.
So we did a series of chemical reactions in the laboratory.
Okay. Here we go.
And discovered that his material was not a common lineage. In fact, it's quite rare among African Americans today. All right. Now this is important to understand. You mentioned that this is part of a journey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The journey is not over.
Not at all.
When I give you this result, you will know that the journey is not over. Okay. Because I'd love to hear next year or 2 years from now what you do with this information. So your mother's side, this is your mother's lineage, okay? And so you share, that's inherited identically generation after generation. And that match was found among folks in northern Nigeria along the Lake Chad Basin, the Kanuri people. Kanuri. Now the Kanuris, if anybody who understands anything about the Kanuri people, they're like they ride horses a lot. Okay. Right. So they're very rather nomadic, but they are masters of horsemanship. I guess what you call it, right? Is it horsery?
I mean, we got a new word for it.
Horsery. Oh, equestrians. Equestrian. But they didn't call it equestrians. We didn't call it equestrian. But Kanuri people in northern, very powerful people, very creative people, but they connected very so in terms of their history with the horses. And so you have that ancestry with the Kanuri people.
Where are his Nigerian cousins?
We all family.
So you got some people to talk to.
That's beautiful. So, but thank you for that. And it just kind of like proves us why what is from Black 5/5 is that we're all one. And so it's helped me out on that journey. So I thank you very much, both of you very much. Thank you. And I'll come back to the patrilineal side.
Okay, sounds good. Shout out to Black Five Fists. He got 1 million brands. Don't you have another one too? What's the other one? Made in Harriet. So check him out online. Let's give it up for our newest African Ancestry family member. Brody, are we good to go? Okay, so no.
I do have to say something. So I'm going to piggyback on what Gina was saying earlier, because I didn't get a chance to mention some people who were instrumental in my journey with African ancestry. Of course, my family, my sister who's up there, LaTanya, and both of my parents, my mother and my father, who aren't here anymore, but had a very significant impact on me in my life. But one person I do need to recognize who started this off for me by giving me the freedom when I was working at Howard University. This young lady up here on the balcony, Dr. Georgia Dunstan. Now, maybe the reason I didn't mention this earlier, because I do get emotional. I probably get more emotional than Gina. But I do have to say that Dr. Dunstan provided me with opportunity to just focus on the craft. She knew that I was really into genetics and ancestry and health disparities. And she was like, that is your mission, that is your purpose. And she protected me. Even all the mistakes I made, all the political stumbles I made, she was there for me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I remember the first time that I ran a gel for my Y chromosome. And some of you brothers are going to understand what I'm about to say. How many of you guys did the Y chromosome Patriclan, the Patriclan test? Raise your hand. Patriclan. Not many? Okay. All right. All right. Right. How many of these Patriclans didn't come up African? Okay. So I appreciate you in the back, brother. I remember the very first time I ran a gel. I was at Howard. I was in my lab. And I was running a gel, and I had my DNA, I had some Yoruba DNA, and I had DNA from the Seth, which are Europeans, right? And I'm running my Y chromosome marker on the test, on the gel. And it's starting to move, you know, it's a migration. It's a migration, okay? All right. So it's moving. And then I noticed that it's not moving as fast as the African sample. It's moving with the European sample. And I said to myself, what the? And then I realized that it was something that my father told me when I was young, that his father told him, that we had an ancestor on my father's side who was European. Now, what did I do with that information? Absolutely nothing. But the reason I'm bringing this up is, so often we have to reconcile the genetic data. You understand what I'm saying? And that is why African ancestry is so important, because we get to be creative with the results and go back to the communities, the families, and figure out how does this make sense for who I am as we shape our identity as people of African descent in America. So, just want to thank everybody again for a lovely story. I was just wasting time.
I know, you guys, we have some very delicious food. We have some refreshments in the back. Like I told you, we have test kits back there. They're only $2.39. You don't know how many times people say to me, when you having a sale? Why does it cost so much? Well, it has never been $2.39, and after 11:59 p.m., it's never going to be $2.39 again. So make sure you get that. You get a T-shirt. We got country tees. We got pendants. Our trips are open. So let me tell you about 2023 before we break. Okay, and before my team comes. So 2023 is our huge year for us. We're going on a world tour. We're going to 16 cities in 8 countries on 4 continents. So we are about connecting the diaspora.
In 5 days.
No. in months, several months. No more minivans, Ralston. We flying everywhere. So if anybody has a Marriott contact for hotels, you got an airline contact, let us know. Mr. Roberts, you got hotels. So I wanted you to know that we're doing that. We're going to 6 African countries this year. So our trips are up. The African Ancestry family reunions are specially curated birthright journeys home. So we're going to Cameroon twice. We're going to Sierra Leone. For all of you all who have traced your ancestry to Sierra Leone, they now offer citizenship based on africanancestry.com results, not 23andMe results, not Ancestry.com results, africanancestry.com results. We're going to Senegal, we're going to Gabon, we're going to Bioko Island, Ramunda, and we're going to Ghana. So please stay in touch with us. Please make sure you're on our mailing list. One last thing, we have an Embrace Africa sweepstakes. So for everybody who registered, you're automatically entered into the sweepstakes to win a free trip on an AAFR in 2024. So we're giving away a free trip to Africa. So if we didn't get your email, if you just sauntered in here and didn't sign up, make sure that you sign up on your way out. And then in closing, I will say that nothing we do have we been able to do without an entire team. And this is my team behind me. This is my team behind me. And we have one team member who I have to acknowledge, who many of you were touched by. Her name is Kelly Bowman. And unfortunately, Kelly is now an ancestor. And yes, and so we just honor her. See, y'all, I'm not going to be the only one up here crying. They think I'm going to be up here crying by myself. But Kelly was one who answered all the calls. She probably answered any of your questions. She touched your orders, everything. And so we just acknowledge Kelly now as an ancestor and the contribution that she made to the work that we do. So see, they thought they were going to surprise me, and I got them back. All right, who's the spokesperson?
How's everybody doing? Hold on, we're talking about Kelly.
I know. This is Simone Jones. Simone is our head of operations, and she makes African Ancestry run.
Okay, so as you all know, Rick and Gina have been leading us back to the diaspora for 20 years now. And not only have they been making it easy for people to learn where they're from, but they've created a space for Black people like us to work and create careers, help the community, support where we can. And so we thought, as a team, that we should do something nice for you to recognize this milestone. Being in business for 20 years is no small feat. You know, people don't make it 6 months or 30 days, and you guys made it 20 years, and you just keep growing. So what we decided to do was give you a token. So for those of you who don't know, hip-hop runs African Ancestry. We call our team meeting the Cypher, so thanks for the mic. And we infuse that because it's decidedly Black culture. We are unapologetically Black, and we share it with anyone we can. So, but back to the original point. As a team, we decided we wanted to give you a token to remember this monumental moment, as well as give you something to laugh about. So the first thing is, you got these? Okay. All right. So, Stanley. So, Dr. Page, Dr. Kittles, we decided we wanted to get you your own plaque. You guys have been putting up the hits for years. And this really should be platinum, but gold is for the 20th. So what it says is Dr. Gina Page or Dr. Rick Kittles, African Ancestry established 2/21/2003, leading the diaspora back home for the last 20 years. So here you go. That's Gina's. Okay. So that was a serious one. Okay. So we decided to infuse hip hop and Black culture and all that into somewhat of a less serious gift. Dr. Kittles, we're going to give you yours first. Okay. You want to take it off?
Take it off.
So apparently Belly is Dr. Kittles' favorite movie. All right, Gina, brace yourself. You're next.
What to do with the QR code?
Oh, and there's a QR code on there with the playlist.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Gina. So we decided we wanted to put you on what used to be the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, but it says the reconnection of the African. So you also have a playlist, so they're individual playlists. Make sure you share them. But really what we're just trying to say is we love you, we appreciate you, and we couldn't be here without you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, so that's it. That's all we got. Please enjoy the food. Please enjoy your cousins. Everybody in here got a cousin. Yes. I said it. Oh, we got Mansakunda in the building. We got FUBU in the building. We got Howard University in the building. We got a vice president of Howard University in the building. Listen. This is how we do it at African Ancestry. And thank you again also to Adasi for being here with us. And shout out to Robin and Karen, who I've known since I was like 5 years old. And shout out to everybody. All right. Have a good night. Thank you for coming.